Okay, so now let's talk about solving two-step equations. Welcome back. Glad you made it back through the one-step equations. That's a little slanted. That's okay, though. We're going to talk about solving two-step equations. How do you do that? Well, it's going to take two steps. We already know the first step, right? That's going to be add or subtract because that's what we learned at the first. It's really like putting both of the one-steps together, but now you just got to do them, one at a time. So let's say we have 3x plus 4 is going to be equal to 22. Okay, 3x plus 4 is equal to 22. Now, my first step is going to be to get rid of that 4. Trust me. Now, you can do it the other way and divide everything by 3, but be mindful what you do to one side, you must do to the other, and you must divide everything by 3, and that's just going to make a whole bunch of fractions, and we just don't want to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract that 4 because we're going to start, backtracking, solving a mystery. That's the easiest thing. We learn how to add and subtract first, so let's do that first. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides of the equal sign, right? And then we're going to have 3x is equal to 18. How you do that? Well, because remember, a positive 4 and a negative 4, what does that make? A 0. They go bye-bye. 22 minus 4 is 18. Now, my last step is to separate that 3 multiplied times that x. How do we do that? By division. We always use the inverse operations, right? Since 3 is being multiplied times x, I'm going to take that 3 and I'm going to divide it by 3 on both, both sides, okay? 3 divided by 3 simplifies down to 1. So now I'm left with 1x, and we don't write that 1 in the front. If you need to, just to make, to help you out, that's fine. You can do that, but you don't have to if you can remember. Now, 18 divided by, that's ugly. Hold up. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So x is equal to 6. We have x all by itself. It's equal to the number 6. That means that we've solved the equation. Anytime you get it all by itself, that means you solved the equation, okay? Let's recap that one more time. Let's go through that one more again. 3x plus 4 is equal to 22. You should be writing this on your note page. 3x plus 4 is equal to 22. What's my first step? My first step is going to be to add or subtract anything that's being added or subtracted, okay? Y'all see that? Anything that's being, I don't ever know where to look at in this camera, y'all. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, first step is going to be add or subtract. Think about when you wrapping a present. Like let's say this is the closest thing I got. Let's say this is X. And you take X, right? And you put it, hold on, let me get that. We just don't use this. This is what I found. So let's say you packing clothes, whatever. You take it, right? You put it in the bag, right? And then you got your wrapping paper, what else? You put that in the bag. And then you might have a card, you stuff that in the bag. How do you get to the item at the bottom? Well, how do you get back to it? You have to take out everything you put in there, and then you can get back to the item that you first put in there. Don't like when you can move it around and get to the bottom of the bag. You know what I'm trying to say. Don't be trying to make, be extra. So just think of it as like that. You need to undo everything that's being done to x. And we're going to start with what's furthest away from x. 3 is being multiplied times x, but then I'm also adding a 4 to x. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract 4 from both sides. Remember, if you need to draw a line, you can, so that you can differentiate between both sides of the equal sign. Whatever you need to do, I'll make it black. Whatever you need to do to make it make sense, okay? Don't forget, we got a teeter-totter. We got somebody over here. We got somebody over here. And you need to be the same weight. If not, you're going to go, choo, and you're going to fly off. So 3x plus 4 minus 4, that's going to reduce or give me a 0, is equal to 18, okay? Now, the only way to separate that multiplication is to apply division, because that's the opposite. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. When I do that, this reduces down to a factor of 1 that I don't have to write in front. Then 18 divided by 3 is equal to 6. If you want to make sure you got the answer correct, all you have to do is just substitute it in, okay? So 3 times 6 plus 4 equals 22. 18 plus 4 is 22. 22 is equal to 22. Hopefully y'all can see that. My marker getting a little light skinned it. Okay? So that's how we solve two-step equations. All you're going to do, first thing I'm going to do is add or subtract. The next thing I'm going to do is going to be multiply or divide. And like I said, you can actually do it the other way around, but this is like the universal way of making sure we all get the same answer. We always add or subtract, then we multiply and divide. Okay, so let's say we have 2x minus 8 is equal to 24. Doing it with a subtraction problem. Same things apply. Add or subtract first. Since I have minus 8 or a negative 8, I need to apply a positive 8, right? So I'm going to do, I'll use a different color. Positive 8 on both sides. When I do that, positive and negative reduce to 0, or, make a 0 pair. 2x is then equal to 24 plus 8, which is 32. Now, my last step is going to be to separate that multiplication. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. This is going to reduce down to 1, and then x is going to be equal to 16. And you can definitely substitute that back in and make sure that you get the right answer, okay? So you just add or subtract any of the constants first that don't have a variable attached to it, and then to separate that variable at the end, you're going to multiply or you're going to divide. Let's say we have x divided by 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. Okay? So we're going to do it with division and addition. Same thing. First step, add or subtract. Since I have a positive 2, I need to make 0. So I'm going to apply a negative 2. I'm going to subtract 2 from this side as well. And now this is going to leave me with x divided by 4 is equal to 6 minus 2, which is 4. Since I'm dividing by 4, I'm going to do the opposite and multiply both sides by 4. Okay? When I do that, this is going to end up being, remember, 4 top, bottom, bottom, that's 4x over 4, which reduces down to just 1x is equal to, I didn't put my 4 on that side, and that's going to make 16, okay? So that's one step. We learned one-step equations. This is going to finish up with two-step equations, okay? Add or subtract first, multiply and divide, because our total goal always is going to be to get x by itself no matter what. We always want to get x by itself. And these are the steps that we're going to take. Add or subtract first, then multiply or divide. We got to isolate that variable. All right?